Who was Ludwig van Beethoven? Ludwig van Beethoven was a German pianist and composer widely considered to be one of the greatest musical geniuses of all time. His innovative compositions combined vocals and instruments, widening the scope of sonata, symphony, concerto and quartet. He is the crucial transitional figure connecting the classical and romantic ages of Western music. Beethoven's personal life was marked by a struggle against deafness, and some of his most important works were composed during the last 10 years of his life, when he was quite unable to hear. He died at the age of 56. Controversial birthday. Beethoven was born on or about December 16, 1770. In the city of Bonn in the electorate of Cologne, a principality of the Holy Roman Empire. Although his exact date of birth is uncertain, Beethoven was baptized on December 17, 1770. As a matter of law and custom, babies at the time were baptized within 24 hours of birth, so December 16th is his most likely birth date. However, Beethoven himself mistakenly believed that he was born 2 years later, in 1772, and he stubbornly insisted on the incorrect date even when presented with official papers that proved beyond any reasonable doubt that 1770 was his true birth year. Family. Beethoven had two younger brothers who survived into adulthood, Caspar, born in 1774, and Johann, born in 1776. Beethoven's mother, Maria Magdalena van Beethoven, was a slender, genteel, and deeply moralistic woman. His father, Johann van Beethoven, was a mediocre court singer better known for his alcoholism than any musical ability. However, Beethoven's grandfather, godfather and namesake, Kapellmeister Ludwig van Beethoven, was Bonn's most prosperous and eminent musician, a source of endless pride for young Beethoven. Childhood abuse. Sometime between the births of his two younger brothers, Beethoven's father began teaching him music with an extraordinary rigor and brutality that affected him for the rest of his life. Neighbors provided accounts of the small boy weeping while he played the clavier, standing atop a footstool to reach the keys, his father beating him for each hesitation or mistake. Education. Hoping that his young son would be recognized as a musical prodigy à la Wolfgang Mozart, Beethoven's father arranged his first public recital for March 26, 1778. Billed as a little son of 6 years. Meanwhile, the musical prodigy attended a Latin grade school named Tirocinium, where a classmate said, not a sign was to be discovered of that spark of genius which glowed so brilliantly in him afterwards. Beethoven, who struggled with sums and spelling his entire life, was at best an average student, and some biographers have hypothesized that he may have had mild dyslexia. As he put it himself, music comes to me more readily than words. In 1781, at the age of 10, Beethoven withdrew from school to study music full-time with Christian Gottlieb Neef, the newly appointed court organist. And at the age of 12, Beethoven published his first composition, a set of piano variations on a theme by an obscure classical composer named Dressler. Was Beethoven deaf? At the same time as Beethoven was composing some of his most immortal works, he was struggling to come to terms with a shocking and terrible fact, one that he tried desperately to conceal. He was going deaf. Beethoven revealed in a heart-wrenching 1801 letter to his friend Franz Wegeler, "I must confess that I lead a miserable life. For almost 2 years I have ceased to attend any social functions, just because I find it impossible to say to people, I am deaf. If I had any other profession, I might be able to cope with my infirmity. But in my profession it is a terrible handicap, death." Beethoven died on March 26, 1827, at the age of 56, of post-hepatic cirrhosis of the liver.